Not too long ago, we had heavy metal bands that we interviewed. And this time around, we are going on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And we have singer songwriter Shelby Ryan. Thank you for joining with us today. It's a pleasure.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
Oh, we love you.
Now, we actually met several years ago at kind of like it was a party, music all going on. And I remember hearing your voice and I absolutely loved it. So, you at the time were playing guitar, but I do know you play piano as well.
Yes.
And how long have you been singing for?
That's a great question. So, singing, I've really always loved to do. My parents have always loved music, playing different things in the car, making sure that we heard a variety of things that we could connect to.
Mhm.
So, pretty much having that experience, it wasn't too long before I wanted to start singing along and then remembering the songs and singing them on my own. So, I did that casually. And then once I got into middle school, I was doing some lessons. Even before that, I was doing certain little theater things too, and
Nice.
I it evolved with whatever I was doing. And then I felt like, oh, I want to add my guitar in. I want to play piano with it sometimes and let it be kind of its own thing too.
Now, was it hard to a lot of people, because I know, Dean says about playing guitar and trying to sing, it's kind of difficult at times. Do you
Mhm.
find that difficult as well?
Yeah, it definitely can be. It's funny because I've become mostly a rhythm guitarist. I want to get into some more lead stuff, but I feel like the lead stuff is hardest, especially when I'm trying to sing. And I have a dance background too, so it's like the moving is helpful. I have that body rhythm that helps me a lot, but really the lead stuff is still tricky because I feel like I have two completely different things going on at once, rather than something that's kind of boosting the singing and just adding to it, adding a simple rhythm, whereas having
Right.
something that's also a melody is a little more challenging.
For
Yeah.
me, I can't seem to get that high on the fretboard to know what to do
Yes, no,
as far as lead work
true.
goes, you know. But yeah, absolutely, doing rhythm like our one song, Mr. Mayhem. I don't know if
Mhm.
you did you ever hear that song?
I very well may have. I know that I've
You
been to
might
some of the
have.
shows. Yeah.
But I wrote that song to be able to sing to it, and it's like one
Yes.
of one that I can sing and play at the same time. So it's difficult
Yes.
for me because I can be so like uncoordinated, I guess, and then have to constantly be looking at the neck, know where I'm
Definitely.
at. But yeah, you got to kind of be like on top of the beat, you
Right.
know.
And that can like affect your voice too if you're either more comfortable sitting and playing guitar like I am. I have to get used to singing sitting because that's a little less comfortable for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then being able to like look at your fretboard if you need to, but also still feel like your voice is going to sound good.
exactly. And then like for me, I want to move. I want to work that stage, so it's
Yes.
even more difficult.
That's so true. And when I look at people who had such a knack for that, like if you think of somebody like Prince,
Yeah.
he would dance, play guitar, sing all at the same time. And I'm like, I don't know how he did any of that, but it's amazing. I'm in awe of it.
Now, with your music, what would you say, what kind of genre is your music?
Yes.
Yes, that's a great question. I go in all kinds of ways, and when I play live shows, I often do a lot of covers,
Okay.
but I kind of do them in my own styles too. So it's funny because my medium that feels comfortable is your classic singer, songwriter, one person and a guitar, rhythm playing kind of thing.
Like
But
Bob
I
Dylan.
Exactly, but I like a lot of things. So I also try to adapt different things. So I'll try to do I have a Bob Marley cover that I do, but I do it in more of a bossa nova style so that it suits my
Oh,
style.
Oh.
I like that.
Right? So it's fun that I kind of bring things into like I love to find songs that I'm like it doesn't sound like I could really cover it realistically, but then I'm like, "Oh, I can. I just take these different elements." And then personally as far as my writing style goes, it goes into some more of the singer-songwriter. I love like rock music and things that are a little rough around the edges too. So I try to incorporate that, but at the same time having one guitar be pretty much my usual instrument of choice. I have to meet myself in the middle sometimes,
Right.
but it's fun to see what comes out of all that.
Oh, I absolutely love that because there's been a couple covers that I'm looking, and for you guys that want to check Shelby out, she has her Facebook page and it's
Yes.
Shelby Ryan. You
Yes.
do have videos on there as well, but there's been a couple videos that I'm like looking at the titles of the cover songs. I'm like, okay, now I'm really curious to hear, and you play them so unique, like
Thank
it's your own
you.
unique way.
That
So
is and that is a true cover.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That is true. A true cover is taking someone else's song, doing it justice, but doing it in your own way.
Mhm.
Yes.
And today's Saturday, so now you do have a performance. You're out in Moments tonight, and
Yes.
that is at what bar?
Yes, I'm going to be at For Spry. A little while ago, it used to be Off the Vine, but it's the same building.
Okay.
They've got new owners and they're doing lots of live music. So, really excited to check it out. It's going to be my first performance there and should be a good time.
And then it's what starts at 7 o'clock, correct? Or
It'll
8?
start 8 o'clock. So,
8
I'll be
o'clock.
doing 8 to 11.
Okay. You guys are going to have to definitely check her out tonight or this weekend because you're also out in Aroma Park tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to be at Fun Hub tomorrow and I'll be playing from 2 to 5. There's also a plant swap. So that should be really exciting.
Oh.
So there will be lots of fun stuff to do with that one too.
You are a busy bee. Going on your social media page, it's like every weekend you are just out there.
Yeah, speaking of performances and all that,
Yeah.
you've been all over from north, south, east, and west. Give us a rundown. Fill us in.
Absolutely. So I've been at a lot of different places. I really started doing music when I was in college. I went to Hope College, so I was in Southwest Michigan. So I kind of got started there in that local area. There's a nice scene. You've got Holland, Grand Rapids isn't far. And then I started to expand more and more once I moved to Kankakee with my folks. That kind of started a little bit in 2021 and then more and more as that went on. And now I mostly live in Bloomington, Indiana, but I come back up to Kankakee for a lot of shows just because the scene is so nice. I really like the Bloomington scene too, but there's just something about Kankakee.
That's a ways away.
It is. It's like a 3-hour drive, 3.5
Hell, I thought
maybe.
you were in Mantino.
Well, see, and I thought she was still around Kankakee area.
Yes.
So it's definitely an honor to have you out here today.
Thank you.
For sure.
Now, what do you think is the most fun place that you've played so far?
Oh, that's a great question. I have a lot that I really love the vibes of it. It's funny because there's certain ones that I'm like, oh yeah, of course I think of it as a show, but also like I just really love the vibe. So some really good places that I've played. I've really enjoyed playing. There's a place in Wilmington called the Wine Cafe that I played more in like a few years back. They've changed ownership, so I know that they're doing live music a little differently now.
Okay.
But their selection is really nice. They have a really good time, and it's just people show up. They love the music. And everybody has a good time there. It's fun to see how places evolve too. Like I've played Game On and Piatone quite a few times, and I've mostly played on their patio the past few years especially.
Oh, okay.
So seeing them build up the patio, seeing who comes. I also grew up in Piatone, so it's really fun to see people that I knew from the town that are still hanging out. So there's really a lot of good ones, but some of those have just a special something where I'm either seeing people that I know or I know the owners personally. There's just so many things about it. And it's funny because each venue is a little bit different, but there's so many things to enjoy at each.
Personality.
So now, with your original song that you are performing today, tell us a little bit more about it. What is the name of it? How did you get to, the lyrics and everything like that?
Thank you. I'm really excited to be performing this one, and I always love to have a chance to talk about it too. It's funny because it's one of those where if I'm in the middle of the show, people are kind of thinking, "Oh, we love the covers, and we're here to hang out," and they're not necessarily listening for the stories behind stuff, which I totally get. But I was able to do a they call it a singer-songwriter in the round at the Winter Song Festival that they just started in Kankakee. So that was their second year doing it. But it was really nice to be able to talk about this one because they loved the song, but they really loved the story. So this song, it's called Nocturne, which nocturne historically is a term used for music that either relates to the night or is meant to be played at night. It goes all the way back to like romantic period, Chopin, that kind of stuff. But it comes from, I was sleeping at my folks' place. They're right on the river, so they get some wildlife. And there were these two owls that were either on the roof or close to it, and they were calling back to each other. So they woke me up around like 5 a.m. And I was like, you guys, I'm trying to sleep. But the more that I heard it, I was thinking of how musical the little calls are. So you'll hear that I have a melody that kind of goes throughout it and takes a couple different forms. But they kind of sounded like woo, 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 woo. And kind of going back and forth to each other. So I thought this would be a really cool call and response. So originally I thought of it as a bass line, but I decided to transpose it into guitar to think of it on a couple of strings and how I could think about them calling back, making harmonies.
That is
And
so unique. I
yeah.
love that. The whole idea of it.
Thank you.
Makes me question and completely rethink how I'm trying to write songs.
Just enjoy the nature. That's what it
Yes.
is. It pretty much comes down to.
It's the most random thing sometimes that I'll hear a bit of a melody in a dream, or I'll hear something outside, or just the smallest thing can sometimes lead you to a whole song. So I'm trying to keep my ears open. It doesn't happen all the time, but
Nowadays we're constantly in our heads. So
sure.
but
Well,
yeah.
with that being said, Nocturne.
Yes. Right. So thinking about the owls and how I was originally trying to sleep, but it's also about the nighttime world, there being this whole other kind of side, things that were happening while I was sleeping. And I was thinking, oh yeah, this is a great name for it because it feels like night music. It's about night creatures and they're nocturnal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, here we go. We're actually going to have you perform the song for us right now, and can't wait.
Lovely.
Take a listen.
Sun goes down on the daytime world. Night slips out with its wings unfurled. Weary bones in darkened homes, but voices still call and eyes still glow. I'll wait for you at the end of the day. You can show me how to light my way. Choose a star to fly by. Don't feel the velvet deep, 'cause sky opens up when the sun's asleep. Are you wise beyond your years? Are you wide-eyed and new? I can tell there's someone here, but I'm still left asking who. Call back to me. I can't be the only one awake. I've shown you who I am, but I still don't know your name.
Well, I enjoyed that performance so much.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to see one of your shows. And
Again, because we
yeah,
have been, I think,
it's
two.
been a little bit. The last
Totally.
one, trying to think, was it?
There was a
in-
fire pit.
Yes,
That's
in
right. I was going to say
Peatone.
it was probably somewhere in Peatone because that's a good place for us all to get to.
Yes. So again, ladies and gentlemen, check Shelby out. She will be playing tonight in Moments, tomorrow in Aroma Park. Follow her on her Facebook page because she is on the roll.
The day after that, she'll be at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes, she will. And
Thank
all
you.
over the place.
Shoot for the stars, honey.
Appreciate that. And yes, I do have some social media where you can find me. I'm most active on my Facebook, which is Shelby Sings, one word. And my Instagram and my YouTube are both shelbyr.music. But if you see me at a show, I also have business cards. So there's lots of ways to get connected with me.
That is great. Thank you again so much for coming out. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Lovely to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, we love you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, you too. Great folks.
Stay tuned next time on the Cat Shack. Bye-bye.